culture and tradition, social life, business. We are Venus Online Radio. Our source. Culture and tradition, social life, business. We are Venus Online Radio. Our source.
I'm Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha, the Managing Director of National Water and Sewerage Corporation. Today, I want to take you through the journey of National Water and Sewerage Corporation, how it started, what it has been able to do, and what it is still doing, and the future plans of National Water and Sewerage Corporation. Before I go far, dear listeners, you know COVID has come. COVID disturbed us here. It has come again now. I want to urge you to put on your masks and practice all the SOPs, the standard operating procedures, as the Minister of Health and the President has been telling us. Just a brief about National Water. It started in 1972 as a parastatal, as a government company, and of course it went through a little bit of turmoil given those days as you know them, from 1972 to 1986. Then 1986, the journey of transformation, the journey of improvement started. And it has gone through so many things, as I will be telling you, and we are happy that we are where we are as a National Water and Sewerage Corporation. What is our vision as a National Water and Sewerage Corporation? National Water has a very ambitious vision. We want to be the leading customer-centered utility in the world. And our mission, as per the law that establishes National Water, is to provide water and sewerage services to the delight of our customers in an environmentally friendly manner. And our mandate is to provide these services in largely the urban centers of Uganda. The aims and objectives of National Water are regularly mainstreamed through regular corporate plans, but the entire purpose of National Water, as we have it now, is to provide water for all to the delight of our customers and by a delighted workforce. We have carried out so many activities. We have carried out activities of operational nature. Every day we wake up to treat our water, to abstract water first of all from the raw water sources, treat it and pump it to our customers. And when we pump it to our customers, we bill our customers and we request them to pay so that we can be able to sustain our service. On the other side of capital development or infrastructure development, we have carried out a number of infrastructure developments here in Kampala and all the other areas where we are operating. So on the achievements, I am very happy, dear customers, that this institution which by the way belongs to you, because national water is 100% owned by government, and therefore it is its duty to make sure that it fulfills the interests of the stakeholder, of the shareholder, who is the government. And of course, on the other side, we have the interests of staff. There's no way an institution like National Water can just focus on the interest of the shareholder without looking at its staff. So on the achievements, a number of things have been done. Dear customers, I'm going to tell you what we've been able to achieve from 1990 to now. The period before, of course, as I said, National Water was in turmoil, so it is not easy to access the numbers as at that time. From 1990 up to 2022, what have we been able to achieve? We've been able to increase the number of towns where we serve from just 5 towns. We're just in 5 towns: Kampala, Entebbe, Jinja, Masaka, Mbari. That's where we are. But as I talk now, 2022, we are in 262 towns. And this is very, very important growth for us, because we are now serving many more people. We are now more relevant to our people. How many people were we serving? In 1990, we are serving less than 500,000 Ugandans. As I talk now, we serve about 18 million Ugandans. Big, big improvement. And when I talk about 18 million, don't say it is out of the 46 million Uganda has. Compared to the target population we are supposed to be serving, we now have very, very high coverage. And looking at the coverage in terms of the percentage, in 1990, we are serving less than 18% of the people, the target population. As I talk now, we serve about 85% of the target population. And that's how we have the 18 million Ugandans we are serving. The network, the network of our system, we had less than 300 kilometers of our network. But now, with a lot of work which we have done, and I say a lot of work because a lot has been done. A lot of work in the infrastructure has been done to increase the network. We are now talking of 20,000 kilometers, from less than 300 kilometers to 20,000 kilometers. And in the water business, you don't just extend pipes. When you extend pipes, you connect the people. We had less than 20,000 connections in 1990, serving 500,000 people. As I talk now, we have about 800,000 connections, 780,000, 800,000 connections. Big, big improvement. And when you look at the revenue, because when we serve our people, remember, dear customers, the law obliges National Water to operate in a commercially and financially viable manner, which means National Water is not expected to get money from the consolidated fund to meet its operating costs. The only money, when we get money from the consolidated fund, it comes in for capital development, for projects to serve more Ugandans. So the revenues, the money you have been paying us in 1990 was about $4 million. As I talk now, our total revenue, which we get from our customers, is about $130 million. And that's about 450 billion Uganda shillings. You can imagine, from about 10 billion Uganda shillings in 1990 to now over 460 billion. Tremendous, tremendous improvement. So I'm really very proud. And dear customers, we owe all this to you, the goodwill, the prayers, the support you have always given us in getting our services and paying. We owe all this to government that has walked all this journey with us, giving us money, getting money, even as loans from development partners and giving it to National Water as grants. And that is how this has been able to. On the financial viability, because the law endeavors us to be financially viable. About 2 years ago, we carried out a credit worthiness rating, and National Water's credit worthiness rating was found to be A++, meaning that National Water can easily go to the financial market, can go to the banks and get money as a loan and be able to service it in order to serve its customers. We have had a number of challenges, of course. The number of challenges we have, they are not insurmountable, but they have been there. Issues of climate change, His Excellency the President has severally talked about environmental protection. We have had destruction of forests in this country. We have had encroachment of wetlands, and this has had an impact, especially on the raw water sources where we get our water. We have so many places where we are operating as National Water that we have had sources drying. At a certain point, about 3 or 4 years ago, we had the source in Guru drying, and we almost ran for a period of about 2 weeks without water. And we had to go and drill deep in the ground in order to get water. But the Oitino Dam had dried. Arua is the same thing, and it is even still there. You have water during the rainy seasons. During the dry seasons, you don't have water because it has dried. And why has it dried? Because people invaded the environment. They cut trees, they invaded swamps, and therefore River Enyau in Arua dries, and that's a problem. You go to River Wiz. River Wiz has been heavily encroached, heavily invaded, and we also have a problem there of inadequate water or very poor quality water during the dry season. You go to Lake Victoria itself. Recently, we have had to put the big treatment plant at Katosi. We had to shift from the Gava location to Katosi simply because the Murchison Bay has been highly polluted, and therefore the raw water quality at Gava is very, very bad, and that has increased the water treatment costs. So we have had a challenge of environmental effects of climate change, effect of environmental pollution. We have a challenge of the socio-economic behavior of our people. We have a lot of illegal connections from our people who like doing wrong things. We have worked with police on that issue, making sure that people don't encroach our systems and take illegal water. We have a relatively high level of non-revenue water because people are coming to our system, getting water illegally, and that is a big challenge for us. We have a challenge of physical infrastructure planning. Kampala is not well planned in terms of physical planning. And because of that, our pipes are regularly cut. They cut them when they are making roads. They cut them even when the people themselves, when they want free water, they cut them, and we lose a lot of water. We have a problem of a challenge of people thinking that water is a free thing. It should be consumed free. Dear customers, again, I want to send this message to you. Water is not free. Yes, if you go to the lakes, if you go to the swamps, it is free. But National Water's business is not to supply you with that raw water. We always have to get that water, treat it with chemicals which we pay money, pump it with electricity which we pay money, bring it to you through pipes which we have to buy, use people whom we have to pay salaries, and therefore there is a cost in bringing this water to you. Now when it comes, we have a challenge of people who deliberately want to say water should be free, and that tends to affect our capacity to generate revenues. So those are some of the socio-economic challenges that affect our business. And of course, the other bigger challenge as a result of all this is inadequate financing. We would have done much more than what we have done. We would have served many more people than the people we have served if we had adequate resources. The water side is even much better. The sewage side is even worse, because our sewerage coverage in Kampala is now about 30%. We should be doing better. Of course, dear customers, this is not to mean that when the sewage coverage is 30%, that there is sewage on the streets. No, the sewage is not on the streets. What I mean by 30% is the part of Kampala that is served by the national water and sewage network and the people served is 30%. The rest of the people, they are disposing their sewage locally on site through septic tanks. And of course, in our slum neighborhoods, they are using pit latrines. That's not a sustainable way of developing cities. That's not a sustainable way of developing towns. We should have sewage systems, and where we are doing a lot of work, especially here in Kampala, to see how we can increase the sewage coverage. Dear customers, you must be aware, for example, in Kampala, that we have put a sewage system at Rubigi, very modern system. We are putting another sewage system at Narukorongo to drain that part of the city. We have recently put a modern sewage system, the best in the Eastern Central African region, at Bugorobi, a system which is even going to be able to produce power, which power is going to be used to power that plant itself. We have put another system at Chinawataka, the system which drains that part of the city. We have several other systems which we are operating, that we have worked in collaboration with other institutions like National Housing and Construction Company. So we are doing a lot of work in the sewage infrastructure. We are now looking at how we can expand the network. We are also looking at how we can add. We are also doing a sewage system for Chirud Hospital, because that used to be a problem. And we are even looking at how we can scale up that work, and also the work in Ruzira. So those are the challenges we have had, plus of course lack of sewage systems in other places, which are even municipalities. We really had challenges with COVID-19. And I think that's why I started by saying, let's put on our masks. First of all, the advent of COVID was a huge problem, just like it was a problem for everybody in the country, and not only in the country, but in the entire world. When COVID came, we were all scared. You remember His Excellency the President led us into a lockdown for very good reasons, because the effects of COVID were very clear. It was life and death. And for us as National Water, we had the challenge of making sure that the business continues. And the business of National Water can only continue if you give a service and it is paid for. Now we went into a lockdown. The lockdown means people's incomes were affected and payments went down. I remember at that time, National Water was billing about 39 billion. But during the first month of the lockdown, National Water billed only 18 billion. And out of that 18 billion, we were only able to collect about 12 billion. The cost of running the business stayed the same. The revenues completely came down. And what did we do? We had to, of course, we didn't want to lay off our staff. So we deducted pay as you earn. We had no capacity to remit it, because it was deducted on paper, but no capacity to remit it. VAT, which was being charged on water, we could not remit it because we were not collecting the money. The NSSF, which was due to the workers, we could only deduct it, but we could not remit it. And many others. So we accumulated huge debts as National Water and Sewage Corporation. And we are itching because we have a very serious program here in National Water called 100% Service Coverage Acceleration Program. A program which was meant to make sure that very soon we should be able to reach all the people with water. That program was adversely affected because it was relying on resources internally generated. So with the advent of COVID, we had no money to run that program. We had no money to support other projects, leave alone money to pay for chemicals. Suppliers were giving us chemicals, but they wanted money to be paid. So it was the hugest problem that the corporation had ever faced in terms of its liquidity situation. I'm happy that slowly, we've never got out of it entirely. We've not received, the government fortunately continued to give us what they owed us in terms of government bills, and we want to thank them for that. But in normal circumstances, would have needed austerity measures, some support to get out of these huge debts. So we've been getting out of these debts. We've not got out of them completely, and that is a huge problem. Now with the current challenges of rising fuel prices, of rising prices of almost everything, we are a bit constrained, but I'm very happy that with the very hard work of my staff, we are developing more resilience to be able to withstand those challenges. Now, coming back to the way forward, we have golden indicators. For us in National Water, we are guided by figures. Figures guide us very well. We are an institution that is guided by analytics. Now, currently, we have our assets. Our total assets, if you look at the asset value of National Water, we have about 3.9 trillion worth of assets. That is fixed assets, intangible assets, current assets. If you total them all together, 3.9 trillion. It has come from very far, of course. About 7 years ago, our assets were about 650 billion. Now we want to grow it from 3.9 trillion to about 6 trillion in the next 5 years. So there are big growth plans which we have. Our current connection base is about 800,000 connections. It has grown from about 300,000 about 7 years ago. 300,000 to 800,000. We want to grow it to 1.2 million connections in the next 5 years. And when we do that, we shall increase the number of people we are serving from about 18 million now to about 25 million in the next 5 years. Then the customer satisfaction. Currently, our customer satisfaction index is about 86%. We want to be able to increase it to about 90% minimum. We also want to increase the level of our staff engagement. We want to improve it. And lastly, as part of our golden indicators, we want to reduce the water losses. They are now about 35–37%. We want to bring it down to less than 33–30%. And when we reduce non-revenue water, we generate more money to be able to serve our people better. And we are going to be able to do this by implementing a number of projects. I'm very happy recently working with the banks. We've been able to get a facility. We want to do a project in Karungu. We want to do a project in Lyantonde. We want to do a project in Bushenyi. We want to do a project in Moroto. We want to do a project in Soroti. We want to do a project in Tororo. We want to do a project in Rira. We want to do a project in Chankwazi. They are already, and those are projects which we are doing with our locally financed resources. We want to do huge projects with development partners. In Mbarara, from Isinjiro, from River Kagera, We also want to do a project in Masaka, in Arua, in Mbare, in Guru, in Jinja, and many other places. So we have so many projects lined up, and Ugandans, dear customers, you can be rest assured that services will be much better. They will reach where they have not reached. And because of this, I want to thank the people we have worked with. I want to thank my staff, first of all, the board, the ministry, where National Water falls, Ministry of Water and the Environment, the government, generally headed by His Excellency President of Uganda, the cabinet, the judiciary for having supported National Water. I want to thank development partners, the people whom we have always worked with, providing funding to do some of these major projects like Katosi, like the sewage project in Kampala, like all these projects we have done everywhere. UBC, we've worked with you very well. I really want to thank you very much. Every time we come to you, your capture is true to the point, and it really communicates very, very well to our people. I want to appeal to the public once again that let's support National Water. National Water is your company. As I told you, the sole shareholder of National Water is government, is the public. Let's work together. Don't be the one who comes and connects illegal connections to National Water. Don't be the one talking badly about the National Water. Don't be the one joining the bandwagon of spreading falsehoods about the National Water. Let's support National Water. You have a committed team. You can be sure National Water is here for you, and it is going to make sure that you get better services continuously in future. I want to give our contacts. National Water and Sewage Corporation is located, the head office is located at Plot 3, Nakasero Road, opposite Rwenzori Courts, opposite Sheraton. That is where we are as head office. Kampala Water office is at Jinja Road, Plot 39. They have several branches in Kampala. We have a branch in Jinja, we have a branch in Mbarara, we have a branch in Masaka, a branch in Entebbe, branch in Ushenyi, branch, all the big towns you can think about in Uganda. We have branches there. They are well branded. You can always get them there. I thank you very much. God bless you.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at